Here's the bottom line, Eagles fans. The Eagles win it 19, make it 22.
22.
They're still totaling them up. 22-10.
Yeah.
Over the Green Bay Packers. Very nice. Kenny Gainwell. As the Birds walk off victorious. And no, it wasn't pretty all the time, but certainly that defense was pretty. 4 total turnovers by the Eagles D.
3.
Beginning 3. Well,
More from special teams.
Special teams. You're going to nitpick me all game? Okay.
4 turnovers, Rube.
Oh, yeah. 4 turnovers forced by the Philadelphia Eagles, beginning with the opening kickoff, which really set the tone for this game. And yeah, the offense didn't look great all the time, but the defense came in and saved the day as the Birds now move on to the divisional round. Yeah, beautiful jobs. And we don't know yet who they're going to play. And Jaws, you always talk about, let's worry about the game that they're on.
It's over. We won that one. We won that one. Now we can look to the next game.
When you look at Reed, Blankenship, these guys played great. Barrett, Jaws, Ruben.
Defense played amazing today. You know, you talk about creating turnovers, creating sacks, generating pressure. You know, they stand it up when the offense was, you know, slowing down.
Jake Elliott.
I mean, it was a time where Jalen went without a pass in like 8 tries, and you know they came in, stepped up, 3 and outs all day, but they made it happen.
Controlled Josh Jacobs.
AJ Brown, where's your book?
AJ.
Being the #1 defense isn't just about stats. It's about when the team needs you, because the offense is sputtering and really having trouble getting anything going. You keep the team in the game, and you win the game for the team. That's what a great defense does, and that's what they did today.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm kind of worried right now on Nakobe Dean's status.
Kobe Dean was carted off and did not return to the game.
All right, coach. All right, coach.
Yeah, there we go. Get him, coach. Dom.
All right, Dom DeSandro walking him off. Now with coaching status on the sideline.
Michael, there's an old saying, you know, defense wins championships. That was an old saying. It might be coming back around.
Absolutely.
That was an incredible defense performance there, and the fumble at the opening kickoff was
there's Cooper DeJean.
Showing them things to come.
This is a quarterback who had been sacked 14 times all year. And it hadn't thrown an interception in his last 7 games. They got him 3 times. Great defense.
Your boy Slay got one. I guess you already know
I think that topic will come up in a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a good chance of that.
I wonder where, Rube. I wonder where. We went to our bold prediction. There's Brandon Graham, our bold predictions. And
there goes the best coach and assistant coach in college in NFL football.
Stoutland on the right,
University.
Yep.
Wow, he had that offensive line. Even the holding penalty by Lane Johnson was awesome. He's saving Jalen Hurts' back. I thought he was gonna get hammered. Like, you know what? I don't care what he did.
Then he
protected his quarterback.
Absolutely.
Which was I thought that's great.
You should always protect the quarterback, Michael. Protect the quarterback.
Exactly, Jaws.
Right.
I know.
At all costs.
It's one of the things I know.
Yeah, protect the quarterback at all costs.
When you look at the offensive state of readiness, and Jalen Hurts having missed the last 3 weeks because of concussion, he came back in. He showed a willingness to run the football. He showed a willingness to go head first. What did you think of his play today, Ruben?
Yeah, he had that early touchdown to Dotson, and I thought, wow, he looks great. Early touchdown, quick start, and then, boy, he looked lost after that. I thought he looked really uncomfortable in the pocket. His timing looked off. He was missing open guys. He took a couple sacks he shouldn't have taken. And he got it together on that one drive, made some big throws to Devontae, and then the touchdown to Goddard. But he looked rusty. I thought he looked really rusty. And I don't know if it was just not playing or if there's more to it, but you can't give up half the – I mean, they had 29 passing yards in the first half. Passing yards.
That's horrible.
I thought he was very measured, Rube. Very measured in everything he did.
Wow,
it wasn't his normal instinctive approach to the game. Sliding before rather than throw the ball away. He played well enough to win the football game, but he's going to have to play better as we move down there. I thought today's performance was good, but it was a measured performance.
It was a strong, you would say that, strong performance?
It was good enough to win. I thought there were some plays on the field. I thought there were some mistakes that he made, but when you win a given football game, you get the credit.
Yeah, thank goodness for the defense. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Through it all, he didn't make any mistakes. You know, he didn't turn the ball over, didn't fumble, no interceptions. So even on a day where he wasn't at his best and he was obviously struggling, he still didn't hurt the team.
What a beast he's been. What a beast he was today. Jalen Carter up front. and they really, they were physical. They knocked guys out of that game for Green Bay left and right.
Like body bag game there, wasn't it?
You know what? A little bit, and you almost felt badly for the Packers because you wanted them to lose, but these guys were getting carried out of there.
Bro, I mean, it started out from the beginning. Nolan Smith hit, I forget the offensive line, Jenkins. He hit Jenkins square in the middle of his
Knocked
chest.
him out the game.
Took his soul from him and put him out the game.
He's a beast.
I mean, and I mean, he balled, had 2 sacks today. 2 sacks.
And could have almost had a third.
Yeah, it should have had a third.
Should have had a third.
Well, when we talked before the game, going into the playoffs, it's a different level of intensity. It becomes a snot knocker style of game. If you don't bring violence in the playoffs, you're going to lose. We brought the violence threefold in this game, and now it's got to continue for at least 3 more.
Yeah, 3 more.
Least.
Yeah,
At
least. They had
5, 6.
Welcome you
Going
to
to next
set.
year, Ruben.
We'll be back, of
Take it one
course,
at a time.
when there's more players walking through. We've got all the interviews for you as well. We welcome you to Eagles Postgame Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Barrett Brooks, Ron Jaworski, Ruben Frank, and we go back across the street in a moment with all the interviews. This is a 22-10 Eagles victory over the Green Bay Packers, and we wanted to see them get on their way, move on to the next round, and do it with little issue. I don't know if I'd go that far to say little issue, but they won it.
For the most part, it was a little issue. You know, we knew that, you know, it's hard to come back into the situation after not playing in 3.5 weeks. He played, 12 plays into the game. He was knocked out, you know, for the concussion. I'm talking about Jalen Hurts. And then, you know, for him to come back in, I mean, we knew he wasn't going to be throwing darts, but I didn't think it was going to be to the level it was today. But, like I said, the defense won the day. The running game, I mean, Saquon had 100 yards. We need to get back and get, you know, cohesive and in sync with our offense. But it just goes to show how good and complete this team is. This is a complete team. Missed another field goal. We can't do that. But, I mean, at the end, a PAT. But at the end of the day, they won the game. They won the game.
Yeah, when we were stuck at 16, when you missed the PAT, it always comes back to haunt you when you miss that extra point, and the point differential could be 1. Thank goodness it ended up the way it did, where it didn't bother the outcome of the game. But when you missed the extra point, it always comes back to get you.
Happened to you guys, didn't it? In '78, was it?
I can't remember that far.
No, it did. Trust me.
I know. I don't argue with you on stats.
Yeah, you better not do that.
No.
34 rushing attempts, including Jalen Hurts' runs, 21 passing attempts, and Jalen Hurts was sacked twice, so let's call it 22. What do you think of the pass-run balance?
Yeah, I thought Kellen had. I didn't think Saquon ran the ball enough early. The last 17 plays the Eagles ran in the first half, he had 3 of them, and I just think Kellen had a hard time getting the whole thing into rhythm. Part of that might be because Jalen was so
out of sorts,
rusty or out of it, whatever you want to call it. I think the final numbers look good. He finally got rolling in the second half, Saquon, that is. And even though he never had any big runs till the very end, I just thought he really controlled the game. Physical runner, moved the sticks, kept the clock rolling. Even when he doesn't have those big plays, he's still such a good player.
Yeah, he is. I mean, him being out there and the threat of him being out there still moves the defense. You still have to realize where he is and put resources to where he is. So his presence being out there will always be a factor. But, I mean, we did run the ball a little more with Jalen. I mean, Jalen showed no fear, but he did protect himself, slid when he needed to slide, But this just goes to show how good this team is to go out and beat a team when we weren't in our best bag as far as playing offense.
And I'll tell you what, this is a tough draw for a number 2 seed. There's never been an NFC team as a number 2 seed that's had to play an 11-win team. There's never been or a 10-win team. So, usually you're getting like a 500 team, 9-8, 8-9, 8-8 before they expanded the schedule. So for the Eagles to get this draw, it'd be easy to go in there and say, we're snake bit. Why do we have to play the Packers? But they embraced the challenge, and I thought they played.
Yeah, this is what you get in the second round of the playoffs, right?
Yeah, this should be like a conference semifinal.
But I think the Packers came in a depleted football team.
They did.
They were really struggling. They lost their last 2 games. There was no momentum coming into the game. I thought that was definitely to our advantage. They had a bunch of injuries. Jordan Love had the elbow injury. I don't know who the guys they were putting in the wide receiver late in the game. They only had 3 on the roster.
I got to miss. I played for the Packers before. I got a missed call. They were calling me to be there. They're off the lineman dropping like flies.
Barry, get in there. Take a look at the playoff. Ruben mentioned the draw. Take a look at the playoff bracket for the Philadelphia Eagles. In fact, for the NFC, and you look at the Birds and they've got potentially the Buccaneers. If the Buccaneers beat the Commanders, if not, if the Commanders win, then the Eagles would play the winner of the Vikings and Rams. That game's tomorrow night. It's being played in Arizona. Rams hosting, but the Wildfires in Los Angeles proving to be too much to host that game there, so it'll be in Arizona. And if the Buccaneers win, it's Eagles-Bucks, and that would be a rematch of the fourth game of the season going into the bye, and that was the one game. People talking about, well, they should have won this game, and not that game. They were handled by Tampa Bay.
Todd Bowles just has our number, and he's got Jalen's number. Jalen's had a tough time with all those blitz schemes, and he's handled Jalen and the Eagles' offense pretty well. So I don't want to see the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
I don't care who we see at this point. I mean,
I do.
A.J. Brown did not play last year, by the way, in that game. Or this year in that game. He was injured last year in the final game of the regular season, did not play in that game. That would seem to make a little bit of difference.
North.
Except for this, he only had one catch today, and he's reading books now on the sideline. Inner excellence. Well, this is, I kind of take
from your library.
Yeah.
In your office?
Well, if I want to be inspired, and if it's good enough for AJ, then it's good enough for me. But I'll read some quotes from it a little bit later. But when you look at that one reception today and targeted 3 times. With Devontae Smith gets 4 catches on 4 targets. I'm wondering how that's going to go. What do you think?
We'll see. I'm curious. I mean, look, he's an emotional guy. He wants the rock, and he's a great player. We'll see what he says post game. But look, they're going to need him, and moving forward, he's going to make a lot of big plays for this team the rest of this postseason.
Dallas Goedert made the big play.
Unbelievable.
Hey, you don't have to go to AJ all the time. Go to him enough. You should keep everybody happy. Receivers, they're divas. They want to get the football. But Dallas Goedert made, to me, the play of the game.
Well, it wasn't like he dropped the ball,
stiff arm.
Yeah, it was
twice,
unreal.
2 stiff arms.
Yeah,
beautiful thing.
But it wasn't like AJ was throwing balls and he dropped it or anything. They were just bad passes to him. So I mean that's.
It's Jalen.
Yeah.
Kind of had him open on that 3rd and 1. I like that play.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I mean,
it was
right there.
Yeah. Here's QB comparison presented by Team Toyota. A look at Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love, and Hurts with a passer rating of 114.4, and it was in the 150s to start the game, and then it dipped way lower than that. Finished at 114.4 as he's 13-21 for 131, was sacked twice, 2 touchdown passes. Not too shabby for a guy who missed his last 3 weeks with concussion. And Love, 20 of 33 for 212, 3 picks. And you'll recall how he had thrown a bunch of interceptions in the early part of the season and then had cut it out virtually entirely leading up to this game. That was not the case today.
Yeah, Bond had one and then he dropped it. I mean, they said he didn't catch it. So, all right, then next play gets another one. I mean,
and
Love
CJ dropped probably the easiest one.
Oh yeah, he did. Didn't he?
Right to him. Yeah, they could have had 4 or 5.
Yep.
Jaws, you were going to say?
Yeah, obviously we got to get more out of Jalen as we move forward. 131 yards, 12 of 23, whatever the number was. We've got to do better in the passing. If people or else they're going to load the box and we're going to be in trouble. So we've got to. He played fine, but I think as we move forward, we got to get more out of Jalen in the quarterback position.
No question. The quarterback's saying he played fine. What's the lineman say? Did he play fine?
No, the linemen don't care what anybody's doing. Linemen don't take care of what they're doing.
How about Eagles Insider? Did he play fine? What'd you think?
He was resilient. I thought he bounced back from some adversity. He didn't turn the ball over, so those are positives. But, yeah, like Jaws said, you're going to have to make more plays than he did to win as they go through the playoffs.
Well, realistically, as an offensive lineman, you always treasure the quarterback. You got to make sure that. But I mean, at the end of the day, see, I told you.
It's my guy.
But you can't continue to play like that and think that we're going to have the success we have. You're the leader of this team. Jalen Hurts. Where you go, this team goes. And we almost didn't go because you were, playing the way you played. So he understands he's got to play better, and I think he will play better. But, man, I tell you what, if he didn't have the guys around him, the defense he has, the receivers and running backs, it would be a tough sledding for any team to think that they can go through and have a quarterback played during the middle of this game the way he played.
All right, a couple things. One, how much of it was rust? The guy didn't play for the most part for 3 weeks. And he even talked about the last time I saw action was basically the Pittsburgh Steelers game, which was 4 weeks ago, and his receivers did not practice at many times during this week. So I'm not trying to make excuses, but I will if it fits.
Timing. I mean, it
has to be a
factor. He was wide open. I mean, not wide, but he didn't have pressure a lot of the times. He was running back, and the offensive line did a great job of blocking for him. And those guys, he had, sometimes I counted like 3.5, 4 seconds that he could have thrown the ball. I don't know if the guys were open because I couldn't see that aspect. I could just see where the offensive line was. The offensive line protected him, for a great part of the game, So I got to watch the film. I can't wait to watch the film, see who was open, who wasn't open, see where things went.
I don't buy into the rust. I just don't do it. He started 66 games. He's won.
You don't buy into that.
I don't buy into it. I just think he's played a lot of football.
Right.
He's played a ton of football. He suffered a concussion. He probably wasn't doing the throwing you normally do, but I just think he's played so much football from high school to college to the pros that I don't buy into Russ. I think he was fresh. I think he was, for the most part, he missed some throws. But
what about timing, though? What about timing?
I just think I can't buy into it.
Right. You know what I thought was an indicator of it was third down. They were 2 for 11 on third down. That's 18%. They're usually way better than that. And I thought many times on third down, the pressure got to him. He started a roll or a scramble, and 18.2% is horrible. And meanwhile, the Packers were 7-13, so we're praising the D, but the Packers 54% effective on third down. They lost the game, but when you look at that defense, you'd think they'd do better than that. So
I don't care about stats, but
my guy ruled.
Jalen didn't just miss practice. Like he told us, we talked to him on Friday. He said he couldn't study, he couldn't watch film. Like this is a pretty serious injury he had, and he said he missed a lot of time. So I think all those things probably added up to make him look rusty. There's no way the time off didn't hurt him.
I'm glad you said that, Ruben, because he went out of his way, I thought, on Friday to thank the refs, to thank the NFL, to thank the trainers. And I thought that's coming from a guy who you don't hear a lot of that from, which led me to believe that this was, as you said, a serious thing.
A lot more serious, yeah.
And the league has done a great job.
Yeah.
The league has, I applaud the commissioner, Roger Goodell. Once he realized the seriousness of this, when he took over as a commissioner, he did all he could to protect players' safety and players' health.
And Jalen also said that he didn't remember it happening, which is a little concerning.
Wow, I know.
And he was asked about, it looked like he wanted to go back in the game. Remember, he grabbed his helmet, had to take it from him. We asked him about that. He said he didn't remember. So
that's instincts. He wants to play. Every player wants to play. That's your natural instinct.
We have to be protected from ourselves.
You have to be protected from yourself.
It just tells you how serious a brain injury he suffered.
Yeah,
it's scary stuff.
Look at the kid, that got knocked out. He was wearing, actually, was it a halo or whatever you call it? He was wearing it, and still, I think he had a previous concussion before that. Fell down the way he fell down, the receiver, and then they took him out. Dobbs.
Yeah.
Dobbs was wearing that.
Romeo Dobbs.
And he was out, and he even had that on. So, that's how serious it is. Concussions.
Each case is different and
exactly.
I just applaud the league for doing the right thing.
And when you saw Dobbs hit the turf, he's wearing the Guardian cap, and it did not look like he hit the turf that hard, which goes to show you that you don't have to hit it hard.
It didn't seem like Jalen hit it that hard either. But people don't understand, when you get a concussion, that's like your brain almost being bruised. That's how serious it is.
It's your brain inside your skull. That's where
being shaken up.
Happens.
Okay. Now that we've done all the
work,
physiological stuff, how about to the locker room we go? A.J. Brown talking post-game with his book, maybe.
Sense of peace. That's a book that I bring every single game. My teammates call it a recipe. That's the first time I heard that y'all got me on camera. But that's not the first game. It got a lot of points in there. It's a lot of mental game, a lot of mental parts about it. And, because for me, this game is mental. I physically believe I can do anything and everything, but, I got to make sure my mental good. So it's something like how I refresh every drive. Regardless of if I score a touchdown or I drop a pass. I always go back to that book every drive and just refocus, and nothing matters, nothing happens, and just relog back in. But, so.
Is there a certain passage you feel?
No, felt good. Felt real good. Moving around really good. it didn't show it on the stats, but you know, I did a lot, you know, today, you know, for my teammates blocking and stuff. So, you know, it's all good.
Was there any with Sean about?
How was it?
Your conversation with Sean?
That doesn't matter.
AJ, the passing?
I'm sorry.
Did that happen like right after that third and long, just first fake touchdown?
Oh man, nah, that ain't it. Nah, it's just y'all just caught me that time. You know, I'm doing that every drive. You know, regardless of, like I said, if I score a touchdown or drop a pass, or you know, it's something how I refocus. You know.
Is there a certain passage that you read from it?
Yes, I always revert back to like the beginning of the book. It states if you can just have a clear mind, and let me see, what does it say? If you have a clear mind and remember that nothing else matters. Clear mind and clear consciousness. You know, nothing matters, negative or positive. You're willing to take risks. You know, and I go back to it, and it also says if you're humble, you can't be embarrassed. So no matter what happens, like in the game or whatever happens, you know, I'm just gonna stay free, you know, play free, you know, keep going, take risks, you know. So.
Were you frustrated when you were reading the book?
No, I was not frustrated at all. I figured that's what y'all probably thought. I wasn't frustrated. Why y'all always think I'd be frustrated? Like, dang, like, yeah, I read the book. Yeah, I like to read. So
about the passing game.
Yeah.
It seemed like were they doing something that you guys weren't prepared for during that stretch where you guys just kind of struggled to throw the ball?
No and yes. You know, I gotta watch the tape. And you know, and get back to you.
How do you think Jalen? I mean, Jalen obviously hasn't played a while. You haven't catching passes from the most part for a while. How do you look?
I'm pretty sure he wish he could get some plays back, and you know, I'm sure we all can say that. But you know, for the most part, he handled the game, and you know, he had no turnovers, so you know, we got to win. Most important.
Overall, how do you think the offense performed tonight?
How
do you think the offense performed tonight?
No, well, at times, you know, can be better. You know, I feel like y'all just want me to say something negative. Well, go ahead.
What did it take for you to play today?
What it take?
Yeah.
My teammates. Yeah, my teammates. Now, you know, being there for them, and you know, I definitely feel like I'm turning the corner. You know, I came out the game healthy. So.
What did you make of Dallas's touchdown?
It's great. It's aggressive, grown man ball. You know, so.
You know, this formula has been what you guys have won behind all year. Like, you know, run it, get ahead, good defense, and win championships that way.
Yeah. Defense did a great job today. You know, kept us in it, picking up the slack, and that's why it's a team game. You know, but we got some stuff that we got to fix on offense and try to execute. So.
How does it feel to move on?
It was good. But.
Did anybody recommend the book to you?
No. Yes, actually, my teammate Moro, he recommended it. I like to read a lot. My teammates see me reading a lot, so yeah, I try to read 2 books a month, and so my teammates see that, and he recommended that book.
Last year, kind of book like.
Sometimes, you know, I'm not really into fiction, you know, but.
Did you read it out there with you? Like, when did you read it out there with you?
Oh, beginning of the game, every game. I even ran out with it a couple times. Yeah, I just don't see it.
I've seen it.
You didn't have back with it, so how does it get back here?
Yeah, just get backs. They know that's the recipe. So yeah.
Did more recommended last year or this year?
This year.
Beginning of the season.
Beginning of the season.
So you.
Yeah.
Did he buy it for you?
No, he ain't buy it.
What did you learn about the season?
What I learned? Nothing new, man. This team is it's physical. This team is gonna try to find a way to win. You know, regardless of the hiccups. You're just gonna try to find a way to win. You know, there's nothing new that it didn't surprise me. You know, of course we feel like we can play better, but you know we know who we are. You know, we've been on the run game all year, and you know we did that today. So.
All right, thanks. Thank you.
I love A.J. Brown. He's one of the stars of this team. He's one of the stars of the NFL. He was asked mostly at the end of the availability about the book and how often he reads the book. And the name of the book is Inner Excellence, Train Your Mind for Extraordinary Performance and the Best Possible Life. But then he asked the media, why do you guys always think I'm frustrated? How about because you look frustrated? How about because you look a little mopey and like you're having a bad time if you haven't gotten the ball enough? And I understand that, but he comes back with a smile, which I think is huge.
Love it.
And he could get 10 catches next game. You don't know.
He understands the nature of the city he plays in. He understands if you go about your business as being the guy that's going to start trouble, they're going to jump on you. And he didn't want that. They are focused right now on winning a championship. So why would he try to deter from that? Don't put any bad juju on anything. Just leave it alone. And I like the way he handled it. Great job, AJ. Great job.
He's such a great leader.
Yeah, great job.
His teammates love him. His coaches love him. Like, he's not one of these diva wide receivers. I think the guy just wants to win so badly.
Exactly.
And he knows he can make such an impact on the game because he's such a great player, man.
That's why he wants the ball. He can win for you.
Every game takes on a life of its own. It'll be one catch today. You get it next week. It could be 10 next week. It could be 10 the following. Every game is different. How's the coverage playing? Are they playing double teaming him? Are they playing high, low, in and out? You never know what the defense resources are being pointed at him. He's going to have a game where he catches one ball because it'll open things up for other people.
Dotson. We got Dotson.
And this
where the hell did Dotson come from?
We
got Dotson.
Yeah, I mean, if Tanner McKee had been playing, I understand. But Jalen Hurts was in there, and Dotson got a ball.
There we go.
It was a great scramble drill they ran there. Dotson's a good player. You saw it in that last game against the Giants. It just hasn't happened for him this year. But I'll tell you what, the Eagles are now 4-0 when they have Goddard, Devontae, and A.J. And you just saw the value today. Like on a day where A.J., what do you have, one catch for
1 catch.
10 yards.
Yeah. 10 yards. Devontae had a nice day, made some big catches. That 28-yarder kind of really got the offense going after a long lull, and we saw what Goddard did. So having those three guys, it's just really tough to beat this team.
I don't care about stats.
Just not enough footballs, for Dotson.
I know you don't care about it. By the way,
there's only one football.
Right.
Only one football.
I know.
You can't hit everybody with a pass.
A.J. Brown needs to get it, though. Really, it's because they have so much talent. Some guys are going to get squeezed out in a given game. By the way, one of the reviews for the book says, it was anonymous, I was really struggling mentally after not getting much action during my playoff game. I had one catch for 10 yards. But this book helped me keep my head on straight and realize the excellence was inside me all along. Sometimes it hurts to not get more targets, but I'm excellent anyway.
Was that Terrell Owens right there?
No,
Terrell Owens was in
Signed Jahan Dotson.
But signed no.